my crew? If you haven't already watched episode number 5 of We Out Here with Big Lou, then I recommend you do so. We got to speak to Dario Novoa, the person behind Simple Reflections and the Forest City Fusion Festival that happened at the Covent Market Garden. We got to speak to him at Casa Cubana, one of the best Cuban restaurants here in London, Ontario. If you haven't watched the episode, go do that now. What's up, my crew? My name is Big Lou, and I'm standing here on Dundas Street in front of the Palace Theatre. We're going to be interviewing Mariann. She is helping out execute the Fringe Binge Festival 2023. They've got 9 different productions, all happening here and in another venue. Let's go inside and see what they got going on.
Welcome to London's most popping show, where we highlight the Forest City's incredible talent, share their stories, and explore their minds at the coolest spots across the city. This is We Out Here with Big Lou.
Mariann, thank you so much for being here and taking the time out of your busy schedule. I learned a little bit more about you, but I'm eager to share this with everyone going on here. The Fringe Festival is literally 5 minutes away from beginning, so this is quite an opportune time to be speaking to you.
Yeah, it's busy right now. Everyone's coming in. The first show is about to happen. It's really exciting.
How do you feel?
Amazing. Because of, the past couple of years have been a little bit rough with COVID and everything, it's really nice to bring a community together and have some fun, share some stories, listen to the music, see the dancing.
I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear. Thank you, first and foremost. Before we go further into the episode, I want to start off by giving you your flowers. You've been part of this organization for quite some time now. We're going to learn a little bit more about that. But especially through COVID, before COVID, after COVID, there's been a lot of growth. And you were telling me now you've got 9 productions happening this year. But at the Prime, there was 28 productions going on within 1 year.
In the Fringe, yeah.
Which is wild. So I just wanted to say thank you for doing all that you do within the London community. I'd like to give you your flowers because
thank you.
Yes, this work is often not noticed.
True.
And so we appreciate the people like you that sacrifice their time despite actually loving what they're doing. But it makes impacts within the community.
Thank you.
And without that, what does London have?
Exactly. Yeah, there's many volunteers across London. I'm lucky to be a part of a team of 5 for the Fringe, and then also there's hundreds of volunteers here at the Palace, so we're very lucky. Yeah.
Beautiful. When you all work together, you can create
Absolutely. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about you. Brief history as to how you pretty much arrived here.
I'm originally from Mitchell, Ontario, so Stratford, Ontario area. Went to school, realized I want to go to college, so went to Fanshawe College here in London to be a respiratory therapist because I felt some pressure to do medicine, do something in the health field.
Same.
But you know how it goes. You have a passion for something and that's not your passion, so you need to break out of that to do something that you're actually excited about. So
is that tough for you to do though?
100%. Yeah, it's scary, right? Everyone says that the arts don't really have a fruitful income, or it's really hard to break into something in the arts field, but I have no regrets. So I did respiratory therapy, finished that, realized I didn't want to work in the hospital for the rest of my life. Meanwhile, I was at the Home and Garden Festival downtown at Victoria Park in 2016, and I saw a table for the Palace Theatre. And I was like, hey, there's a theatre in London. That's dope. I know about the Grand Theatre. I knew about Aeolian, London Music Hall. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Talked to the volunteers there. They introduced me to the Palace Theatre and London Community Players. And I was like, hey, there's my spark back. That's my outlet. So I did theatre back in Stratford. So coming to London and finding that community was really important to me. Left the hospital and left that healthcare field. Went back to school for theatre production at Fanshawe College. Graduated that in 2019. And then through
2-year program?
2-year program, okay. Yeah. So I did 2017 and 2019. Boom, right away. Yeah, so I did 3 programs here at Fanshawe, and during that time volunteered here since 2017.
Right.
Doing stage management, props, wardrobe, sound, lighting, kind of all those things backstage that you don't typically see, which is good. I hope if you don't see it, that means we're doing a good job.
The production is going well.
Yeah,
smoothly,
exactly.
Yeah, for volunteering, and now what do you do here?
Yeah, throughout COVID, we all had a break and things were kind of halted and canceled as it happens to the best of us. I joined the board of directors here. So this is a volunteer-run organization. It was brought on to the Fringe committee this past January. On top of, thank you. Yeah, it's been really exciting. So the Fringe joined us here at Palace in 2020 officially, but this is our 2nd year doing the festival. And since I run the social medias here as a volunteer, on top of kind of everything else I do backstage. So I was kind of brought into the Fringe community because of that, but I was also a stage manager in the Fringe in 2018, and before that with the festival as it was pre-COVID. Fringe has a special place in my heart, so
It
now I'm
seems
here.
like there are a lot of volunteers that you work with, though,
Yeah, hundreds of volunteers.
including you yourself. So for other people that may be watching this, what's the best way to become a volunteer? Not obviously today, but
Yeah, we definitely need volunteers always.
Sounds like it.
I keep saying that there's like hundreds of us, and there is, but it takes a village to run a community like this and be a part of a
Especially.
community. And
Yeah.
we're in this beautiful building, and we have Light program, which is our youth theater program, which is really important. We have our London Community Players, which is part of the Palace Theatre Arts Commons umbrella, and that's our 6 main stage shows every year. And then we have Fringe. So with those 3 communities involved, you need volunteers for everything. And a lot of us wear multiple hats, so it'd be really nice to have some fresh faces and yes, delegate. So to get involved here, we do have a volunteer intake form on our website, so palacetheatre.ca. We're also at the Palace on Facebook and then at the Palace on Instagram. So you can reach out to us through DMs that way and I'll respond. I'll be the face behind the socials. So
that's how we connected.
Yeah, exactly.
Slid in.
Yeah, slid into those DMs, so yeah, so please reach out to us. We would love to have you here.
Beautiful. Okay, and so now let's talk a little bit more about what the Fringe Festival is.
Fringe is a festival that's been long for years. It's been around forever, it feels like. It's been in London for 23 years, so since 2000, which is wild to think about that. But it's worldwide. In Canada right now, some of our bigger ones are Edmonton and Toronto. So we're part of a circuit that we call the North American circuit or the Canadian circuit. We have the biggest circuit in the world. So Canada has the largest circuit for Fringe tours, which is really cool. Fringe is a place where musicians, comedians, actors, dancers can create a show, pitch it to the Fringe, kind of get their name out there. We do a lottery style, so it's kind of random draw about who can get in, which is kind of neat. Yeah, so we have 9 in ours this year. And anyway, they have 6 shows this year for our Fringe, which is kind of special. So 6 days, and there's 6 shows.
Today's day 1.
Day 1. So then they're all slotted into a schedule, and then they kind of rotate and share a venue with other artists. So this year we have many domestic artists. We also have artists as far as India coming in. So they're actually on stage right now, which is really exciting in Precunier Hall. So we have lots of different artists coming. It's very exciting that we brought in an international group this year. So we have 9 shows over 6 days and 4 ways, which is kind of our slogan for Fringe this year. And the 4 ways is 4 different venues or 4 different stages. So it's double from what it was last year. So part of that regrowth and rebuilding is us expanding, which is awesome, yeah.
What 4 venues do you have
yes.
this year?
So at the Palace here, we have Precunier Hall, which is our black box stage. Seats about 70.
Okay, cool.
So it's just out there, out front by the lobby. We have our main stage, which seats about 350. And we have a few artists out there. Bigger one, yeah. And then we're really lucky to partner with First St. Andrew's United Church this year.
Right.
Yeah, and they have 2 different spaces. They have Proudfoot Hall in their basement, which is a stage in itself. It can seat about 100. And then we have the chapel of the church, which they've let us lovingly convert into our stage for our 4th stage. And we have a few shows up there too. So across the 9 shows, everyone's kind of broken up into those 4 stages that they get to call home for the week.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And then all the artists make the net profit off of their ticket sales. So we keep the service fees because that's how our ticket window system works. But the profits from their ticket sales go right back to the artists. We don't keep any of that.
Right.
So it's supposed to be a platform for the artists to express their art for the community.
Awesome. And do you find that the artists are finding success or struggling in terms of selling their own tickets in different areas, especially if they're not domestic per se?
I think the interest in Fringe is that you can just show up on whatever day you want and kind of plan to binge your Fringe your way kind of thing. Kind of the
So
cute little...
Is that where the phrase came from?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. So because tickets are relatively more inexpensive than what a main stage production would be, so our tickets for the main stage season are about $30, whereas Fringe is $15.
Got you.
Showcasing and getting the name out there is kind of tricky right now because there's so much art out there, which is exciting. Like, I love it. That's what it's all about.
Right. That's why we're here doing
this.
But at the
Exactly.
same time, it can be a little
It can be hard.
overwhelming to keep up with it all.
Well, it's overwhelming, and I don't know about anyone else, but coming out of those rough couple of years and then realizing that you have to try to be social again and engage others going from being so isolated to now being out there can be a huge,
social anxiety is real.
It's a huge, so real.
It impacted me for sure.
Yeah,
It's real.
Yeah, but no, we're
not alone.
Facts. But we're really lucky to have great community partners that have let us put up their posters and do window displays and connect. We have CBC London and you folks, you have been wonderful. So we have great connections that we're forming and rebuilding connections and building our community, which I think is really important for the arts, to have a community that supports one another and for those that are open-minded to that type of art as well. So
what have you found to be the most challenging thing in terms of executing this whole project?
Personally, for me, is time. I feel like there's never enough time ever to do everything that you want to do.
So with time, I mean, obviously you're going to continue growing with consistent effort. However, do you think that, like, obviously more volunteers, but maybe like private funding, sponsors,
100%. Yeah.
that kind of
if
stuff?
we had sponsors, it would be a world of difference. And
is that something that you're considering maybe next year?
absolutely, having sponsorships or community partners to support us and we can support them would definitely be helpful.
So if they got any people out here that are interested in doing that, feel free to connect with
please
Mariann,
reach out.
You know, or even reach out to us and we'll connect you as well. This is all about teamwork, collaboration. We're doing this together. London is rising. Okay, great. So we heard about your biggest challenge. But what now on the other end of the spectrum, what has been like the biggest win so far for this event? I know it's just starting.
Yeah. For this event so far, I think it's just been the excitement behind it, to have something to give. Again, the artists have excitement because festivals are starting up again. So having that platform and having that space to perform, and a unique venue too, because it's not something typically that folks get the accessibility to.
Right.
I feel the excitement from everyone saying, the Fringe is back, how cool is that? And that's how I feel too. So I think that's definitely the excitement of the Fringe and the anticipation of what shows are going to look like, because we don't screen any of the shows. So we have new volunteers on tonight that have never been here before. So some folks have never heard of the Palace Theatre, and now they're in this really cool venue that's been around since the 1920s.
Dang.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, 1926.
So what was it before then?
It was the Park Theatre, so it was a movie theater.
Okay.
And then their first film that they ever showcased here was a silent comedy.
A silent comedy?
Yeah.
Like a mime?
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, so that was the first film here. And then London Community Players bought out the theater in 1991, and it's been our homes here since. I think the excitement is just being in a really cool space and seeing some really cool art.
Yeah.
For sure.
And we need that. London is a little bit at a deficit in terms of venue spaces, cool,
I think
creative
so.
places for artists to kind of express, more so specifically local artists that don't have that much of a following. Because,
Exactly.
I mean, filling up a room of 350 people isn't the easiest thing to do.
No, it's not at all.
But it's cool to know that that is an option. The other room is 72
Seats,
capacity.
yeah.
We need to be able to get out there as other musicians and reach out and find these venues and also support them, because without the venues, the artists can't do what they got to do.
Absolutely.
And the same way, without the artists helping the venues fill out their capacities and like operate their business too, it's all gonna like
100%.
collapse. That's dope that this space is here. I actually have never personally been inside of it before, but I've heard about it.
Right.
I've heard about the Palace Theatre and I've heard about the Fringe Festival because it already has a pretty dope reputation within the city.
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
that's awesome. I'm happy that I discovered this place. Maybe if you haven't been here yet, you should consider checking it out, even for the Fringe Festival or for other shows, because you've got so many shows happening
So many,
throughout the year. Great. Well, can you tell us a little bit about some of the acts? You said that there are 9. No pressure to like list them all.
Yeah,
Not even
I'll
like your
try my
favorites
best.
or whatever, but just a couple so like people can have an idea of what is happening. Like,
Yeah.
What is this?
So here at the Palace, we have the 2 venues, like I mentioned. We have Precunier Hall and the main stage. So right now we have one of our Indian artists is Priyanka, and she is doing The Elephant in the Room, which is a one-woman show. Her set is incredible. And for like a small theater space, it's very like an intimate type of show. Okay. She's so funny. Lots of fun anyway. So she's here. Have Penta Theater's How Did We Get Here, which is a lesbian couple that are trying to figure out how to exist in a world that is very traditional and closed-minded. They have a great team. It's a 2-hander, so 2 actresses. And yeah, so that's a kind of a cool platform for them. They're a local group.
Okay.
Doing really cool things. Yeah, we have Butterfly Tongue, which is also in Precunier Hall, and it's a musical comedy. So he plays guitar, tells some stories, sings some songs. Again, it's a one-person show. So very kind of cool, intimate vibe in Precunier. And then the main stage has 2 shows going on. So right now Starfish. Nicholas is a one-man show. The Starfish has traveled as a group of dancers. Nicholas is coming as one dancer on the big stage, which is very exciting for him. His lighting, I haven't seen the actual show, but the lighting is so cool.
Wow.
It looks like a galaxy with how they did the lights and the star. Oh, it's so neat.
Wow.
And then we have Goddess in the Gallery, which is the other show on the main stage. Original script again.
These are all such amazing names.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so there's so many different names, different shows. That one is one of our bigger casts. They have a cast of 4, and they're all local actors. Original script is, again, they're doing great things. It has a really cool setup. They have like paintings and kind of a gallery of a museum kind of setup for their set. Mm-hmm. And then over at the church for St. Andrew's, we have 2 local high school graduates that just finished, which is kind of really cool for them. Super young. They're our youngest group here. They're doing all of their eyes, which again is about 2 young ladies that are trying to figure out their relationship and how that fits into their world. We have Tony Molesworth. He's also a musician and a comedian. He opened for Weird Al, which I think is the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah.
I'm a big Weird Al fan, so like that's very special. And then we have another comedian, Nicholas Eddy, and he is doing One Night Only, and he's one of our travelers for the Fringe circuit. He's come a long way. He just did Kingston not too long ago, and now he's here. And he has a really cool vibe about trying to figure out life as a young adult, and he's super, super funny. So he's over at the church as well. So with all those shows kind of going around, there's lots to see and a lot of different types of art to take in.
So we've got one component of this show that we want to try.
Okay.
For the first
time
time ever.
Oh no. No pressure. Okay.
I just need to pull up my phone. It's called, before I butcher it, the Fast 5.
Okay. Oh, like lightning round. Okay.
Lightning round.
Got this. Okay.
Just 5 quick questions. You don't have to answer like 1 or 2 words, but be as brief as possible.
Okay, I'll try.
Okay. So what is your favorite restaurant to eat at?
Spaghetti Eddie's.
Oh, we want to go there too.
Oh,
okay.
you've never been?
He has, I haven't.
Oh, right.
It also looks cool. Like it's a cool
It's
space.
a cool vibe.
Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
we go there for our next.
Yeah. Or Los Lobos because I love their nachos.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Tasty
Facts.
food. Nice. Okay. So where's your favorite place to go in London?
I would say the Western Fair Farmers Market, or I really just like spending time at Victoria Park because there's always something going on, or you can just like chill.
Is there something in London that you want to do that you haven't done yet?
That's a good question. I haven't been to Bowler Mountain, which kind of feels like a fake Londoner in a way. But they have high ropes that I want to try out.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I've never actually been in the summer either, so I'm kind of halfway like that.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, and we already know that you haven't lived in London your whole life, but when did you move to London? Was it for school?
Yeah, it was for school, and it was in 2014.
2014.
Yeah, August of 2014.
Do you think you're going to stay?
Yeah, definitely London's my home now.
London is home.
London is home.
And then how would you describe London to a friend who's never been here?
London is the smallest big city in a way that it feels like a community, but there's also so much to get to explore.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, thank you for doing the Fast 5.
Thank you. Did I pass?
With 5 colors.
I haven't done quizzes in so long.
Where do you think London needs a little bit more support in terms of the artist community? Like, where are we lacking? What can we do better?
I think promotions of the art, so having folks be willing to share and give those artists a platform to share about what they do. Venues too, like we need different sizes of venues. Right now we have a few that can do like 100 and a few that can do 300 plus, but we're missing that sweet spot of 150 to 300,
Yeah.
which I think is
It's necessary. It's
necessary.
critical. It's a step.
The platform of, again, like promotions, but also just the venue to perform is super needed and a necessity for sure.
Hoping that someone watching this is actually gonna be like, yo, this is a problem that's happening and a lot of people are sharing this, so maybe I'm gonna step in and fix that, provide somewhat of a solution at least.
Absolutely.
I think that could go a long way. Do you have any final words before we begin to wrap up?
Just really a thank you for being that platform for artists. I think it's really, really important and a necessity in the community, like we just said. Also for everyone watching, please come on out and support the arts, whether it be here at the Palace or any other venue in London, whether it be at the park when there's a festival going on, or if you just hear something on social media or on the news and you're like, hey, that's pretty dope, reach out to the artist, because I know it means a lot to us and I'm sure it means a lot to everyone else too.
For sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
We're going to jump into the London Rendezvous. If you don't know what that already means, it is a highlight or a compilation of events happening within the city over the next 2-week period. We're definitely going to be including more events happening here at the Palace Theater, so stay tuned and check that out right now. We'll be right back. And we're back from the London Rendezvous. Thank you so much for checking this out. We're going to wrap this up with Mariann. Thank you once again for being here. We really do appreciate your time.
This is We Out Here with Big Lou.
Perfect.
We Out Here with Big Lou is an independent production coming out of London, Ontario, executive produced by Big Lou and Brad Beard Studio.